Let's stay with that story now. I'm joined by constitutional law expert Michael Osborne. Michael, thanks very much for your time and for speaking to us this evening. Let's get a quick recap of where we are with the state capture inquiry versus Jacob Zuma. I believe last year, after the former president applied for the chairperson to recuse himself, that was denied. Give us just the basics from then on to where we are now.
Good afternoon to you. After the president, or Mr. Zuma, had walked out of the hearing, an application was made to the Constitutional Court by the Commission seeking a two-part order. Firstly, an order that Mr. Zuma had to appear at the Commission, and secondly, that having appeared, he go ahead and answer the questions that were directed at him. Now, quite unusually, Mr. Zuma declined to participate in that matter. The matter was heard late last year. The Constitutional Court reserved judgment, so we now have this unusual situation where a matter or a decision is pending before the highest court in the land, but meantime the clock is ticking. Mr. Zuma has still not appeared, and in the letter of yesterday, the Secretary of the Commission demanded that Mr. Zuma appear next week on the 18th, and took the position that even though no decision had come down from the Constitutional Court, the demand that appear remained in place until such time as the Constitutional Court made its determination. So the position is, and it seems to me that it's probably correct, that Mr. Zuma is in no position to say to the Commission, as he probably will, that his obligation to appear is automatically suspended whilst we're all waiting for the Constitutional Court to hand down its decision. Now,
Michael, I'm going to jump in there because I want to find out from you what legal recourse does the Commission have if the former President Jacob Zuma does not appear between the 18th and the 22nd?
Well, it can report the matter to the police, and the police may then issue a warrant for his arrest for contempt of the Commission. That option is always open.
And is there any legitimate legal course of action by which Jacob Zuma could counteract that subpoena or summons and choose not to appear?
Well, in the normal course, what you'd expect to happen, and it happens quite frequently, is that a person facing some kind of compulsion, having taken the matter to court, and whilst waiting for the court determination to come down, would apply for would make an urgent application, and this urgent application would say, look, my obligation to appear is, as it were, suspended. The legal situation is uncertain until the decision from the higher court comes down. But in the meantime, I want an order to the effect that until such time as the court's decision does come down, I need not appear. Now that's, as I say, not at all unusual. We have this rather unusual situation, as I say, because Mr. Zuma elected not to appear at the Constitutional Court. And if he now seeks an urgent interdict to prevent him from appearing pending the decision of the Constitutional Court, the question is going to arise, well, how can you come along and seek an urgent interdict against my obligation to appear when you failed to appear yourself before the Constitutional Court? So the tactical decision that has to be made by Mr. Zuma's lawyers over the next few days is to say, well, notwithstanding that thus far we've refused to appear, we are going to approach a high court and demand relief from from his duty to appear on the 18th until such time as the Constitutional Court has had the opportunity to hand down its decision.
Michael, quickly before I let you go, what are the consequences for the Commission of Inquiry if the Constitutional Court does not rule in its favour?
The consequences for the inquiry are fairly dire in the sense that the Commission's term ends on the 31st of March, and it seems unlikely then that Mr. Zuma will ever appear, simply because the clock is ticking. And of course, the counsel for the Commission has made the point that this precisely is Mr. Zuma's intent, to use delaying tactics as much as possible in the hope that before a legal decision can be reached, it will be too late, in the sense that the Commission closes up shop, as it were, on the 31st of March.
Thank you very much. That was Michael Osborne, a constitutional law expert. It certainly seems it's crunch time for the Commission of Inquiry.